Good afternoon, everybody. And here we are for the launch as well as the discussion of a Turkish novel. It is The Lighthouse Family. It is not yet been published in English, but we have the Kannada version now. Okay, so that's the greatness of it. So I request Firat to open the books first and show it to you. He will show you even the Turkish version as well, and we'll take up the discussion from there on. Just pull it out. Yeah. Yeah.
So this
That-
is the Kannada.
That's great. Give him one copy.
This book has been translated by Dr. Madhuri Kulkarni. She is in US at the moment. She could not join us the session. And Dadapeer has edited this text. So after the translation is over, so he has sat and he has sincerely edited this book. So it was nice that Dadapeer also joined this particular discussion. Okay? And I'll start with a first question to Firat. Firat, thanks for joining this session.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
See, in India, or at least in Canada, Turkey means for us only two names comes into our mind. One is Pamuk, the another one is Shafak, right? But when we read your book, we felt it's one of the excellent novel anybody could write, actually. We are very proud that I'm publishing this in Canada. It's such an emotional-filled historical novel. But why we haven't heard any of such names? What is the Turkish literary culture, means book culture? How is it? Can you just brief us about that?
So the Turkish book culture is really very well developed. Because first of all, the literacy rate in Turkey is among the highest globally. It's 96%. And India is 76%, although it's also very high. Connected with this the literacy rates, book reading is also very high. The rate of book reading in Turkey is also very, very high. I will just give you a number because that was a record. You know, during COVID time, 2021, everybody was at home, spent time at home, and then there was a boom in book selling in Turkey. Within 1 year, only 2021, 440 million book was published, 440
That's a
million.
big number.
And Turkey's population is only 85 million. So it means 5 books for everybody. So the rate is really very, very high. Of course, we have also some advantages in Turkey because we have one official language. All books are published in Turkish. But in India, you have several local languages, official languages. You have to also translate for some regions. So it is logistically not so easy. For us, it's easy. You just publish and then you just distribute. Everybody is able to read. So as I said, books is read in Turkey by many people. So you ask about Orhan Pamuk and Elif Shafak. Why they are not very well known?
Other authors we haven't come across.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Because I have been in several states and cities joining literature festival or book fairs. And I had also the impression they know Orhan Pamuk or Elif Shafak. You don't need to make any advertisement for Orhan Pamuk. He's Nobel Literature Prize winner. So everybody knows him, for example. And Elif Shafak is also a very well-known author. I like both of them. I read their books. For this reason, for example, Tagore is also very well known in Turkey for the same reason, because he was also Nobel Literature Prize winner. And then, his name was given to a street in Ankara. There is a street, Tagore Street in Ankara. So it's really very, for such a celebrities, you don't need to do anything. But why you don't know any Turkish authors except for Orhan Pamuk and Elif Shafak? Because it's your fault. No, it's true, because there is a principle in publishing sector you know very well. No translated books without publicity. And for publicity, you have to make your own advertisement. This is the publishers. Unless you don't introduce new books and make the publicity, it's impossible. How can you know the Turkish authors, well-known Turkish authors in Turkey? And, in Europe, for example, or in Middle East, Turkish authors are very well-known. They have translated their books, works in different languages, but very well known. And now we would like to also change this. Because I am an author, cum ambassador, I really would like to contribute to deepen the relations in the literature between Turkey and India. It's very important because it's a bridge between the peoples. So I think in the coming years we will have more Turkish authors known and published in India, of course with your help.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward for that. Okay?
Thank you.
And one thing is, like you said, that you have so much literacy rate, and also the number of people who are reading books is quite high. Here, as much as of language, we have the population as well. The Turkish population is almost equivalent to Karnataka population, one particular state. So we have numbers here, That's great. And the next question is actually, so this particular novel is a historical fiction set it in the World War time. So can you just brief us about what is the social and political scenario of this particular novel?
It's a very good question. Thank you very much. I would like to, answer your question without giving any spoiler, because it is not easy for an author to talk about his book without giving any spoiler. But hopefully next year we meet again, and then most of the audience maybe read this book. Then we will be able to read, about the context of the books, and it's much better than you can ask, for example, about the protagonist or other events and so on. But now, as I said, this is the first time that I hold this book in my hands. Thank you very much. So, the political environment, climate during that time. So, that was wartime, Second World War. Turkey was not a part of Second World War. But the German troops, the Nazis were all over. They came just until our border. And there is a lighthouse. This is the real, painting of the lighthouse in western tip of a peninsula, westernmost of Turkey. A lighthouse far away from everything, everywhere, and everyone. This is really a lighthouse. You should go and see it in the middle of nowhere. So the closest village is 1 hour on walk. So a family is living in this lighthouse. The father is the lighthouse keeper. And this story is told through the eyes of the little boy of the family. So they are in the war. Turkey is not in the war, but they feel the impacts of the war in their daily life in forms of poverty or privation, because bread is rationed. And, we were afraid that German troops can attack Turkey, and that's why we increased the number of Turkish soldiers to 1 million. And people suffered of this. Of course, feeding 1 million soldiers is not an easy thing. And then in the big cities, book was rationed. And then you have to stay in long queues hours and hours to get just one loaf of bread. And most of the times, in vain. You wait all day in front of the bakery together with hundreds of people, but in the evening you just go because the flour and the bread are needed for the soldiers. So even when you are not in the war, they felt. But they are three siblings, and far away from everything, they are also their best friends, playmates, because they don't have any other friends. They don't play. And then the war is also a game for them, because they don't feel, yes, there is a war and so on, but whatsoever, they just play. And this novel says even a family in a remote corner of Turkey, far from everything, can be affected, by the war. And it was the case. One day, they witnessed that the islands, close islands, Greek islands, they were bombed by German planes. The islands occupied by German troops, and then they feel that the war is now coming, approaching. And then from the islands, people, young or old, they just get their dignitaries and escaping from Greece and seeking refuge in Turkey. And then one day, a young, handsome Greek, he also come to Turkey, and then our story starts, because there was also a love story. Okay, I'm a spoiler. Yes, I know.
Spoilers.
I know, but maybe.
Yeah.
Yes,
But what it is actually, if people are in war, and you say that I don't war, you don't have a choice like that to take a neutral stand. If two people are in war, your neighbors are in war, that war is going to affect you whether you get involved or you are not going to involved. So that's what is very interestingly depicted in this novel. And also just with one family, a window of that family looks at the entire world, what is going on, and it gives us the brief of that. In fact, to tell you, while reading this, I have cried so many times, to be frank, okay? I have cried so many times. That emotionally filled story it is, yeah? And
sorry, just one addition. And this topic is now very, actual, because now everybody is talking about the war. Last year that was Ukraine war, and now what happens in Gaza. That the world is now a showplace of wars, and that's why maybe this anti-war novel now would attract the attentions.
Any good novel has to be anti-war. Yeah. So now, more than the novel, let us come to you. Yeah. So tell us about yourself. You are an ambassador now to India from Turkey. So your childhood and what you are, how did you get attracted to the writing? And you know German as well. You said that you spent a lot of years in your childhood in German. So just tell us about that, about yourself, what makes you to write, and with such a important responsibility which you are dealing, but still you spend time in letters. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, writing is something that it comes from the core of your heart. So you cannot just say, okay, I want to be an author, I want to write. Here you are, I'm a writer. It's impossible. It must really come from your core. And, okay, you need skills and you need inspirations. But you need also some, also education, but education not in terms of university and so on. You need to develop your own literary style. Without those factors, you can't be, you can't write a novel.
Yeah, we can't write,
Yes,
but we can
yes,
tell. We can be a storyteller.
Yeah, and then I will tell. How, is your question also includes how I start writing and
that's
so on?
how it is.
Okay, I will.
Your connection with the literature.
Okay, I will tell. But for someone who were in my before noon session. It will be as now double because I also explained there. But most of them, I think you were not there. So I had always two dreams from my childhood. And one of them was being diplomat, second one being a novelist. Not just a writer, but a novelist as well. So, I keep writing diaries and reading so many books in my primary school. And I was in third grade, just a little boy. And then one day, I read Robinson Crusoe, the famous novel of Daniel Defoe. I was very impressed, and then it forced my imagination, and then I decided to write my own novel. And then in third grade, I wrote my own, not novel, my own Robinson Crusoe. A bit changed and so on. But this is not the issue, you know. Of course, I copied the book and then changing events and so on according to my imagination. Well, yes, but for me it was a novel, of course. But the issue is, can you imagine a person, 3rd grade, a child, not just started, but completed the novel. That was such a thick notebook. I wrote the novel with my, pen, but I completed. And that is, of course, interesting. And then I was so proud. And one day I was walking in my school with my notebook, so proud. And then my teacher saw me and said, "Firat, come, what is this?" And I was so scared. Oh my God, she will now be angry with me. She will saying, "What are you doing, wasting your time for unnecessary things instead of doing your homework," and so on. I really felt this. And then I just gave this book, so crushed, and I said, "This is my novel." And then she just skimmed through the pages and then smiled and then turned to the classroom and say, "Hey, kids, your classmate, Firat, had an excellent novel. Did you know this? He has an excellent novel. And from now on, every day, every morning, before we start, he will come, he will read some pages from his book."
So nice.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. Such a brilliant.
You know, the help of the teacher, you know, that's why, being a teacher is a very, very important thing. And then, thanks to my teacher, maybe I was able to become an author. I was able to realize my dreams, thanks to her. So I, keep writing. I wrote so many short stories in my time when I was student. But my final dream was become an author in novelist, precisely, of course. So, I thought, your ideas and your pen must be mature. Unless they become mature and you develop your own style, you cannot write a novel. And then I was in my 40s, and I was still thinking like this. I was writing for myself, but I was not thinking, to publish my works. And then I was posted in Georgia, Tbilisi. I was deputy chief of the mission at the Turkish embassy. Then it changed my life. I met some people, very old people. Some of them are over 80s and so on. And then they were the people, so ethnic Turks, who were deported forcefully by Stalin during the Second World War in 1944 to Central Asia. So more than 100,000 of them. And then I start listening to their stories. They were so sad stories, how they have to left their houses. And the 40 days long train, journey to Central Asia, 40,000 died on the way. Yeah. And then these are real stories. They told me their stories, and we cried together. And then I was in search with them on the mountains, their so-called villages, but there was no village. All was destroyed 60 years ago. So I heard so many stories about this. And then one morning I woke up in Tbilisi, and then I just felt my pen and ideas matured and I start. So thanks God I started. This is my this novel, In the Shade of the Weeping Willows, based on real story, but still a novel. And then immediately after I complete this novel, it has taken, of course, 5 years to complete this, it became bestseller in Turkey.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then it's now 6th edition, and it was subject to several literary articles and one PhD thesis, and was also adapted a TV series in Turkey. And in IMDb, this rating was 8 out of 10.
So, Firat, we
Yes.
look forward for more
Yes.
books to come to
Yes.
Kannada and
Yes,
as well as
yes.
in the Indian languages. I'll ask Dadapeer few questions actually. Dada, he's a celebrity in Kannada, so he has got Sahitya Akademi Yuva Puraskar. So Dada is a serious short story writer, as well as he has written a biography of a trans man. So it's fantastically received in Kannada. Dada, you were involved extensively in the editing and as well as the translation of book. So please share some of the experiences. Yeah, Firat, if you can give the mic.
Hello everyone. Actually, we are missing Madhuri Kulkarni at this moment, who is a translator of this book. So everything sir and Vasu sir actually covered it. But I just want to add few things. Okay, actually I came on board on this project little late. So I had some 2 months of time. But what really fascinated me about the novel, apart from a story, the story about the displacement, it's a human story which sees the whole world through the eye of a small boy, and also the structure of a novel is really fascinated me, because from a starting one word till the ending word, it's so structured. I assume that it's organically formed. Even otherwise, it's amazing. And also the few things about the translation is like, see, translation, I always think of one metaphor. It's like a checking electric circuits, electric wires, so which allows any writer to work at the greater vicinity. So as I say, there is so much loss in translation, and also there is so much gain in translation. So our challenge with the translation was like how do we cater to the the Kannada audience and also Kannada Muslim audience and Kannada all audience. So that way, the book is very, very, very poetic in its approach. So how do we write and especially the sentences in the dialogue? So challenges with Madhuri and I was with respect to what is the colloquialness of a Kannada Muslim family. So that we have to bring, because that is a story which is happening in Turkey and all that. But so when the Kannada reader picks up the novel, so you should also feel like, oh, it is mine. So it is also. So though it is story of Fariha, Elias, oh, it is also mine. So and also, so one more last thing I'll add it. So what the Kannada Muslim family has the sense of family is very strong. Yeah. The sense of, the bond between the brothers and all that. I feel it is a very beautiful novel, and all readers who's gonna pick up the novel really resonate with the human story.
Okay, though the story has been told with a Muslim family background, but I feel it can be applicable to any family who is facing war times, during the war times, and especially facing the poverty. Right. So we have seen so much of poverty being described in this particular book. How is it now in Turkey? How are the things?
It's on, yes. No, the things are not comparable with that time. That was war condition, and 80 years ago, 85 years ago, Turkey is now one of the biggest economic powers in the world. We are a member of G20 and so on. Just our export and import with India, it's last year it was 14 billion. Of course, you cannot compare the situation 80 years ago and now. Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Like, I feel such authors we need to read more. We always end up in reading celebrated authors who have been heard everywhere. But there are, whether it is Turkey, whether it's in India, there are unspoken heroes in that land as well. So we need to read their books, and translation will be the one thing which really helps us to get into that. We have just 1 minute left. What I'll ask is for him to read one paragraph of Turkey passage, and Dadapeer to read one Kannada passage, and we'll conclude the session. Firat? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dada?
so
Yeah.
I'll just read one paragraph so that, to just to get a sense. So it starts with this statement of Epictetus, Nimma balyave nimma tainela, Epictetus. ಆ ಭಾವಚಿತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಧ ಚಡ್ಡಿ ಧರಿಸಿ ಮಿಲಿಟರಿ ಸಲಾಮು ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿರುವ ಭಂಗಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗಿಂತ ಮುಂದೆ ನಿಂತಿರುವ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಹುಡುಗನಿದ್ದಾನಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ನಾನೇ. ಮುಂದೊಂದು ದಿನ ಮಿಲಿಟರಿಯ ಒಳಸಂಚೊಂದು ನನ್ನ ಬದುಕನ್ನು ಬುಡಮೇಲು ಮಾಡಬಹುದೆಂಬ ಯಾವ ಕಲ್ಪನೆಯೂ ದೇವರ ದಯೆಯಿಂದ ಆಗ ನನಗಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಬರಿಗಾಲು, ಬಡತನದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಹಜವೆಂಬಂತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಹರಿದ ನನ್ನ ಬಟ್ಟೆಗಳು, ರಾತ್ರಿಯಿಂದ ರಾತ್ರಿಗೆ ತುಸು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕರಾಳವಾಗುತ್ತಿದ್ದ ಜರ್ಮನ್ ಯುದ್ಧ ಕಾಲದ ದಿನಗಳವು. ನಾವು ಶಕ್ತಿ ಮೀರಿ ಯುದ್ಧ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದೆವು, ಬಂದೂಕು ಮತ್ತು ತೋಳ್ಬಲದಿಂದ ಅಲ್ಲವಾದರೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಡತನದ ಜೊತೆಗೆ.
So, okay, now I will read and then you can know how it sounds in Turkish. Bir insanın ana vatanı çocukluğudur. Epiktetos. Şu önde esas duruşta asker selamı veren kısa pantolonlu çocuk var ya, işte o benim. O zamanlar askeri cuntanın hayatımı değiştireceğini bilmezdim elbette. Ayaklarım çıplak, kılığımız kıyafetimiz haliyle biraz perişan. Alman Harbi yıllarıydı. Her gece biraz daha karanlık. Topla tüfekle olmasa da dişimizle, tırnağımızla ve yaşadığımız sefaletle bizler de içindeydik savaşın.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks, everyone. The books are available in the bookshop, and Firat will be happy to sign the books. And also, see, if you are a Kannada reader, don't miss to buy this book. If you are not a Kannada reader, please buy the book and give it to your Kannada reader, okay? Friend, whoever his friend is there.
Yes,
so please gift it to them. It's one of the wonderful gift you can give to your Kannada friend, okay? It's a beautiful book. Please do read. We hope it will come in English soon, and all the English readers also will enjoy this book.
Thank you very much.